Hi, how are you? I'm great. So today we're going to talk about stories. Every one of us has a story. I have a story. You have a story. I can sort of trace back and talk about whom I am born to, how they sort of parented me, and how I grew up and stuff like that. But then I found much more interesting story than all our stories. That's the story of a pencil, right? Let's sort of trace down like how this pencil is born, like who is the reason for this pencil to exist in my hands today. And this is something which has a real utility, unlike some of us. Or yeah, I mean everybody has a utility. Sorry. So anyway, so let's talk about pencil. I mean, this is made of wood. There is probably some graphite in between. There's a lead, and then by the time and then there is a lot of paint on top of this pencil. Most probably, this wood is sort of made, sort of deharvested in some forest that you and me don't know of. There are probably these guys who are like sort of logging huge trees to sort of log this wood. Then this wood goes next into some kind of processing unit where the single grain of wood is sort of cut down into small strips with which you can probably make a pencil like this, right? Then all these strips again go into another factory, which is probably like damn huge, where millions of pencils get made every day. And then this narrow hole will be drilled, the whole frame will be smoothened so that it is beautiful and you can hold it really well. And then a lot of men and women work on making this process happen. Now think of the lead. Like most of the world's graphite comes from Sri Lanka, this place called Ceylon. And then this graphite sort of gets transported to wherever this factory is, and then it is processed, mixed with lot more chemicals, which are sort of processed again in brick kilns by again millions of men and women to sort of make this lead happen. Then the assembly happens. Then somebody nicely paints this, and then finally the process finishes up and goes to the market, and then it finally reaches your hands. But then look at all the individual players across all the supply chain, from the person who cuts the tree in the forest to the person who actually sort of invests money into manufacturing a plant, and then the person who actually does the labor to sort of make every single pencil happen. Does any of these people know each other? Most probably no, they don't know each other. Did anybody sort of tell them or master plan this whole sequence and say, hey, you do this, then this person does this, then this person does this, so the pencil happens? No, that's not true either. In the sense, everybody sort of, none of these people are actually thinking about making a pencil. They're just doing their job, and finally the pencil ends up happening. So essentially, there is no single coordinator between all these actions. Nobody is planning this out and saying, somebody has to deharvest a tree, somebody has to sort of manufacture these strips, somebody has to sort of invest money into making into a plant, and then finally the pencil happens. So even though all these people are disconnected, they don't even know that, some of them don't even know that probably the woman who is actually polishing the wooden strip up doesn't know that it is eventually going to become a pencil. So even though most of them don't know have the knowledge of the whole process, the pencil happens. So I mean, who is coordinating all this? Who is coordinating all these people who does not have knowledge of what is finally happening? Nobody. There is no master planner. There is no central planner who is actually sort of telling how a pencil has to happen and who has to do what. The entire sequence got naturally built by various people doing their own jobs, and a pencil suddenly happens in your hands, which has some real utility in your life. I mean, this whole interconnectedness is so humbling because, the truth is none of us have to master plan things. Things happen by, a sequence of people who have different sets of knowledge doing their own jobs. And what this brings out is, if you sort of think about the economy, how the world is run, about our monetary policy, the government saying, you sort of have to pump money as a credit into the markets to sort of make the markets go up. If you sort of think about things like this, it makes me go crazy. The reason is, master planning doesn't exist. The pencil is the proof. So, why do we really sort of need a government or a master planner to sort of coordinate all these actions and then say, if the monetary policy is sort of run like this, only then sort of economy grows. So there is no real need for that to happen. But then for some reason we sort of chose to trust the government with our money and everything that it creates. Think about it. There's no single mastermind. There is an invisible hand that is sort of coming together in coordinate actions of people. It's that simple. Thank you.